Hey everybody, so today I am going to be talking about Lev Grossman's novel The Magician King. The Magician King is a sequel to Grossman's novel The Magicians, which was released in 2009. Now, this being a sequel, I may actually have some spoilers about The Magicians, but I'll do my best not to give you any spoilers about The Magician King itself. So, first of all, if you're not familiar with this series, this is kind of Grossman's ode to Harry Potter and the Chronicles of Narnia. Effectively what he's done is he's mashed these two things together, added a whole bunch of alcohol and drugs, and come up with this story. In The Magicians, we meet the main character, Quentin. He's brilliant, and he's inducted into a magical school. In Grossman's universe, magic is manipulated through hand motions, through voice, through certain languages. And effectively what he says is that magic is part of the science and existence of the world, and that through this combination of words, movements, etc., you're effectively forcing your will, like using a back door, basically. Like, he almost likens it to basically hacking a computer. And magicians are just hackers, and they're hacking the world computer. So it's kind of a different take on magic. As I said, it's far more of an adult's novel. Certainly there's a lot of stuff here not appropriate for children whatsoever. In any case, as part of this world of the magicians, there is a novel series called Fillory, and it is clearly his version of Narnia. And there's even a god figure in Fillory called Ember, and instead of a lion, it's a golden ram. And so the Magicians follows Quentin as he goes through school and as he graduates, and as he and some of his classmates go on an adventure into Fillory. There's a lot of tragedy. There's some laughs, but the book is filled with its tragedy at the ends. And when we leave The Magicians, that novel, once again, big spoiler for the ending here. When we leave The Magicians, Quentin has effectively turned his back on magic because of the events of what happened in Fillory. And then he's approached by two of his classmates, Elliot and Janet, and with them is a girl named Julia, who is a friend of Quentin's from before he joined the magic school. And she's since gone on and found magic her own way. They call them hedge witches. And the three of them basically say, come with us, we're going back to Fillory, and we're going to become kings and queens. And so that's where we end in The Magicians. Now, The Magician King picks up after this has all happened, now that they've gone back to Fillory, and Janet, Elliot, Julia, and Quentin are the kings and queens of Fillory. But it's not enough. Quentin has this feeling that he has to go on an adventure, that there's something lacking even in this idyllic world and this incredible circumstance where he's now a king. And so he embarks on an adventure. At first, it's kind of meaningless, and of course, as novels, especially novels about magic, often do, the quest takes increasingly large meaning as you progress through the novel. And now the novel is sort of two parts. You have Quentin and his quest, and then we also get the backstory of Julia and how she found magic. The thing I didn't tell you is in The Magicians, Julia was actually in the exam to enter Brackenbills, which is the magic school, but she didn't get in. And so she's gone a different route to find magic. And so we get that backstory of her. The Magician King is all about identity. It's all about finding that thing in your life that means something to you, that gives your life purpose, that defines who you are as a person. And what's brilliant in a lot of ways about this book is that characters go through a hell of a lot to pursue a specific thing just to find out that that's really not what they needed. It's not even really what they wanted. And unfortunately, in a lot of cases, this results in a fair amount of tragedy and heartache. But it also results in a lot of wins, and I think that's the thing about this novel, and the thing about The Magicians as well, is that this series, Grossman has a really big thing about balancing victory with tragedy, happiness with sorrow. I think it sort of speaks to his whole concept of magic, that to get magic you have to give up something. And in order to win, you have to lose. The first thing that I think of when I talk about this kind of stuff is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. If you haven't seen that movie, well, I won't spoil it for you, but you should see the movie. But in that movie, it's kind of like, that's how it ends, is that everybody gets what they want and nobody gets what they want. It's like everybody wins and everybody loses all at the same time. So this story is very much the same. I really enjoyed the novel. If you watch my channel, you know I posted a video at some insane like 1:30 in the morning hour, where I basically said that this novel had sort of motivated me, that I'd come up with this idea, and so I was sitting there writing at 1 o'clock in the morning, trying to hammer out some point forms so that I would be able to write the novel later. So really, it did speak to me, and it really did inspire me. And about the only complaint that I have with this is that I want more. And I don't know if there's any plans for Lev Grossman to write a third novel. Without spoiling the ending, let's just say that there's wiggle room that there could be a third one. On the flip side, if this is the end, it's still a satisfying end. So, take that as you will. But The Magician King and its first novel, The Magicians, highly recommend them both. If you read The Magicians, you may find that there's a couple of points that are a little sluggish, that are a little drawn out. But overall, it's a great read. And actually, I found the pacing in The Magician King a lot better. I found that it really did just pull me along, and it didn't let me go until I was done the book. So once again, guys, The Magician King, highly recommend it. If you haven't read The Magicians, obviously read that first and then shoot right into The Magician King. And if you did read The Magicians and you thought it was okay but you weren't sure, I still think you should give The Magician King a chance. I really did enjoy it. So once again, guys, thanks very much, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.